The morning sun barely peeked through my curtains when my phone buzzed. Sarah's name flashed on the screen. Great. Happy fucking birthday to me. Hey babe, happy 21st. Her voice was way too chipper. Thanks, I mumbled, still half asleep. So, about today, you're not seriously going out with your loser friends, are you? I sat up, suddenly wide awake. What? We've been planning this for weeks. But it's your birthday. You should be with me. Sarah, we talked about this. I'm going to the water park with. Fine, she snapped. Go have fun with your precious friends. Don't bother calling me later. The line went dead. I stared at my phone, a mix of anger and relief washing over me. Fuck it, I muttered, dialing her back. What she barked. We're done, Sarah. I'm sick of this shit. Are you breaking up with me? On your birthday. Yeah, I guess I am. Happy birthday to me, right? I hung up, heart pounding. My phone immediately lit up with a barrage of texts, but I ignored them. Instead, I pulled up my chat with Rowan. Hey man, you still up for the park today? I typed, my fingers shaking slightly. His reply came instantly, wouldn't miss it. Everything okay? I hesitated, then replied, I'll tell you when I see you. It's been one hell of a morning already. The sun beat down as I pulled into the water park's parking lot. My phone buzzed again, another text from Sarah. I switched it off without looking. Yo, birthday boy, Ethan's voice rang out. He was waving from near the entrance, Rowan standing beside him. As I approached, Rowan's eyes met mine. Rough morning. You could say that I muttered. We shuffled through the turnstiles, the smell of chlorine and sunscreen hitting me. All right, Spill, Ethan said as we claimed some lounge chairs. What's with the long face? I took a deep breath. I broke up with Sarah. Shit, man. On your birthday, Ethan's eyes widened. Yeah, well, it was time. Rowan sat next to me, his shoulder brushing mine. You okay? Something in his voice made me look up. His eyes were filled with concern, not pity. It hit me differently. I think I am, I said, surprised to find I meant it. Well, Ethan clapped his hands. I say we celebrate your newfound freedom. Last one down the tornado slide buys lunch. As Ethan took off, Rowan lingered. Hey, he said softly, if you want to talk more, I'm here. My chest tightened in a way it never had with Sarah. Thanks, Rowan. I might take you up on that. We raced after Ethan, laughing as we hit the cool water. For the first time in months, I felt light. Free. Little did I know, the day was just getting started. The afternoon sun was dipping lower, casting long shadows across the park. We'd hit every slide twice, my skin pruned and chlorine-soaked. I'm wiped, Ethan announced, sprawling on his lounge chair. Think I'll catch some Z's before we head out. I nodded, suddenly aware of Rowan beside me. He jerked his head towards the snack bar. Want to grab a drink? We wandered over, the concrete warm under our bare feet. As we waited in line, Rowan turned to me. So, you gonna tell me what really happened this morning? I sighed, running a hand through my damp hair. Sarah and I, we've been toxic for a while. This morning was just the last straw. That bad, huh? Worse, I admitted. I don't even know if I ever really loved her. Rowan's eyebrows shot up, seriously. Yeah, it's like... I don't even know what love is supposed to feel like, you know. Everyone else seems to have it figured out, but me, I'm clueless. We grabbed our drinks and found a quiet spot near the wave pool. Rowan was quiet for a moment, then said, maybe you're overthinking it. What do you mean? Love isn't always this big, dramatic thing. Sometimes it's just feeling comfortable, safe, like you can be yourself. I looked at him, really looked at him. The setting sun caught his eyes, making them shine. A warmth spread through my chest, different from anything I'd felt before. I've never felt that way with anyone, I admitted softly. Rowan's hand brushed mine. Never. My heart raced. Was this what it was supposed to feel like? Before I could answer, Ethan's voice cut through the moment. Guys, there you are, ready to head out? I've got a surprise for the birthday boy. I stood up, my mind whirling. As we walked back to gather our things, Rowan's words echoed in my head. Maybe I had been looking for love in all the wrong places. We piled into Ethan's beat-up Corolla, still damp from the park. The sun had set and streetlights flickered to life as we drove. So, where's this surprise? I asked, catching Ethan's eye in the rearview mirror. He grinned. Patience, birthday boy. We're almost there. We pulled up to Ethan's apartment complex. As we climbed the stairs, I noticed Rowan and Ethan exchanging looks. Okay, what's going on? I demanded. Ethan just winked and threw open his door. The apartment was dark. Ethan, what the... Surprise. The lights flicked on, revealing a crowd of familiar faces. Balloons bobbed against the ceiling, and a banner proclaimed Happy 21st, Fred. Holy shit, I breathed. Hannah appeared, pressing a red cup into my hand. Happy birthday, loser. Time for your first legal drink. I sniffed the cup cautiously. What is this? Don't ask, just drink, Ethan laughed, clapping me on the back. I took a sip and nearly choked. Jesus, what's in this? Everything, Rowan chuckled, appearing at my side. Ethan's famous everything but the kitchen sink cocktail. As the party swirled around me, I felt a rush of affection for my friends. This morning I'd been dreading my birthday. Now. I caught Rowan's eye across the room. He raised his cup in a silent toast, a soft smile on his lips. My heart did that weird flip again. Earth, to Fred, Ethan's voice cut through my thoughts. Speech time, birthday boy. As I was pushed towards the makeshift stage, Ethan's coffee table, I realized something. For the first time in forever, I felt happy, really, genuinely happy. I raised my cup. To friends who know exactly what you need, even when you don't. The room erupted in cheers. As I took another swig of the lethal cocktail, I thought maybe 21 won't be so bad after all. Little did I know, the night was just getting started. The world was starting to blur around the edges. Ethan's everything but the kitchen sink cocktail was doing its job, and then some. Ho there, birthday boy, Hannah laughed, steadying me as I stumbled. Maybe ease up on the booze. I grinned, feeling lighter than air. I'm fine, never better. My eyes scanned the room, landing on Rowan. He was chatting with some guys I didn't recognize, but his gaze kept drifting back to me. That warm feeling in my chest was back, stronger than ever. Earth, to Fred, Ethan's voice cut through my Rowan-induced haze. You're staring, man. I blinked, turning to face my best friend. Was I? Shit, Ethan, I think I like him. Ethan's eyes widened. Rowan? Seriously? Yeah, I nodded, then immediately regretted it as the room spun. Is that weird? That I like a guy? Ethan's face softened. Nah, man, it's cool. You like who you like. But I've never. With Sarah, I thought. Look, Ethan said, steering me towards the couch. Maybe you're bi, maybe you're gay, maybe you're just Rowan sexual. Who cares? What matters is how you feel. We plopped down on the couch. Across the room, Rowan caught my eye and smiled. My heart did somersaults. How do you feel? Ethan pressed. I feel alive, I admitted. Like with Sarah, everything was dull. But with Rowan, it's like colors are brighter. Does that make sense? Ethan nodded, a strange look crossing his face. Before I could ask about it, Hannah appeared. All right, lovebird, she teased. Enough secret convos, we're playing Never Have I Ever. As we joined the circle forming on the floor, I caught Rowan's eye again. He patted the spot next to him, raising an eyebrow in invitation. My palms were sweaty as I sat down. The alcohol was making me brave, but as Rowan's knee brushed mine, I realized I might need a bit more liquid courage for what I was thinking of doing next. Never have I ever kissed someone of the same gender, Hannah announced, a mischievous glint in her eye. My heart raced as I watched Rowan take a drink. Our eyes met, and he winked. I felt my face flush, and it wasn't just the alcohol. Your turn, birthday boy, Ethan nudged me. I opened my mouth, but before I could speak, the apartment door burst open. Where the hell is Sid? A familiar voice slurred. My blood ran cold. Sarah. She stumbled into the room, mascara streaked down her face. Come on, Fred. Stop being a coward. The room fell silent. I could feel everyone's eyes on me. Sarah, I said, standing up unsteadily, you need to leave. She laughed bitterly. Leave? It's your birthday, baby. I'm here to celebrate. Rowan stood up beside me, his presence solid and reassuring. I think you should go, he said quietly. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Who the fuck are you? He's a friend, I said, my voice stronger than I felt. And you're not welcome here. Oh, I see, she sneered. Is this why you broke up with me? Found yourself a new toy? The room collectively inhaled. I felt like I was going to be sick. That's enough. Ethan's voice cut through the tension. He stepped between us, facing Sarah. You need to leave, now. Or what she challenged. Ethan's voice was low, dangerous. Or I'll call the cops. This is my place, and you're trespassing. For a moment I thought she might argue. Then her shoulders slumped. Fine, she spat. Have fun with your little boyfriend, Fred. You two deserve each other. She turned on her heel and stormed out, slamming the door behind her. The silence that followed was deafening. Then Rowan's hand found mine, squeezing gently. You okay? He murmured. I looked at him, then at Ethan, then at the concerned faces of my friends around the room. Despite the drama, despite Sarah's words, I felt supported, protected. Yeah, I said, surprised to find I meant it. I'm okay. Ethan clapped his hands. All right, show's over. Who wants another drink? As the party slowly came back to life, I couldn't help but notice how Rowan's hand lingered in mine. Maybe Sarah's dramatic exit had cleared the air. Maybe it was the alcohol. But suddenly I knew exactly what I wanted to do next. The party had shifted gears after Sarah's dramatic exit. The music was softer now, and people were talking in hushed tones. I found myself on the balcony, desperate for some fresh air. Hey, Rowan's voice came from behind me. Mind if I join you? I turned, my heart skipping a beat. Please do. He leaned against the railing next to me, our shoulders touching. The city lights twinkled below us, a stark contrast to the chaos inside. Some birthday, huh? Rowan said softly. I chuckled. Yeah, not exactly how I pictured it. We stood in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Rowan took a deep breath. Look, Fred, I know we've only known each other for a short time, and you know how shy I can be. But I'm going to say this before I chicken out and regret it. He turned to face me, his eyes intense. I have a crush on you. My breath caught in my throat. Was this really happening? I'm not always sure about a lot of things, I stammered, but I'm sure that I like you too. Rowan's face lit up. Before I could overthink it, I leaned in and kissed him. It was like fireworks exploding behind my eyelids. His lips were soft, tasting faintly of the fruity cocktails we'd been drinking. I felt his hand cup my face, drawing me closer. When we finally pulled apart, I was breathless. Rowan's eyes were wide, a goofy grin spreading across his face. Wow, he whispered. Yeah, I agreed, unable to stop smiling. Suddenly we heard whistling and clapping. We turned to see our friends watching us through the balcony door, all wearing huge grins. About damn time, Hannah shouted, giving us a thumbs up. I felt my face heat up, but Rowan just laughed, wrapping an arm around my waist. Shall we face the music? He asked, nodding towards our friends. I intertwined my fingers with his. Together. He squeezed my hand. Together. As we walked back into the apartment, I couldn't help but think how different this birthday had turned out from what I'd expected, and how glad I was for that difference. The party was winding down. Most of the guests had left, leaving just a core group of US sprawled across Ethan's living room. Rowan's arm was draped casually over my shoulders, and I couldn't stop smiling. All right, birthday boy, Hannah yawned, stretching. I'm heading out. Try not to have too much fun without me. She winked, giving me a quick hug before leaving. As the door closed behind her, I noticed Ethan watching us, a strange expression on his face. You okay, man? I asked. He forced a smile. Yeah, just tired. I'm gonna start cleaning up. Ethan busied himself collecting empty cups and plates. Rowan squeezed my hand. I should probably head out too, he said softly. It's late. I walked him to the door, stealing one more quick kiss before he left. When I turned back, Ethan was standing there looking uncomfortable. Ethan? What's wrong? He sighed, running a hand through his hair. Nothing, it's just, I overheard Ian talking to you earlier. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? About me. About how I feel about you. The room seemed to tilt. Ethan, I had no idea. He shook his head. It's okay, really. I'm happy for you and Rowan. You guys seem good together. But why didn't you ever say anything? Ethan shrugged. Avoiding my eyes. You're my best friend, Fred. I didn't want to mess that up. And then Rowan came along, and I saw how you looked at him. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut. Ethan, I'm so sorry. Don't be, he said firmly. Look, I love you, man, as a friend, as whatever. I just want you to be happy. And if Rowan makes you happy, then I'm glad. I pulled him into a hug, feeling him tense for a moment before relaxing. You're the best friend I could ask for, I mumbled into his shoulder. As we pulled apart, Ethan gave me a genuine smile. Happy birthday, Fred. Now get out of here so I can sleep. I laughed, but it felt hollow. As I walked home, my head was spinning. The high from kissing Rowan was fading, replaced by a confusing mix of guilt and uncertainty. What the hell was I supposed to do now? The walk home felt longer than usual. My mind was a tornado of thoughts: Rowan's kiss, Ethan's confession, Sarah's outburst. Some birthday this turned out to be. My phone buzzed. A text from Rowan had an amazing time. Can't wait to see you again? I smiled despite myself, but it faded quickly as Ethan's face flashed in my mind. God, what a mess. I found myself at the park near my apartment, collapsing onto a swing. The same park where Ethan and I used to hang out as kids, where he'd been there for me through every breakup, every crisis. And now Rowan. Sweet, funny Rowan who made my heart race like no one else ever had. Fuck, I muttered, kicking at the wood chips beneath my feet. My phone buzzed again. Ethan this time, hey man, just wanted to make sure you got home okay. And we're good, right? I stared at the message, my throat tight. That was Ethan always putting others first, always putting me first. But then there was Rowan. The way he looked at me, the way he made me feel. It was everything I'd been missing with Sarah, everything I thought I'd never find. I stood up abruptly, my decision made. I couldn't let fear hold me back, not anymore. I dialed Rowan's number, my heart pounding. Fred, he sounded sleepy. Everything okay? Yeah, I said, surprised at how steady my voice was. More than okay. Listen, can you meet me tomorrow? There's something I want to talk about. Sure, he said, sounding more awake now. Is this a good talk or a bad talk? I smiled. Good. Definitely good. After we hung up, I texted Ethan back, we're more than good. You're my best friend, always. Nothing will change that. As I walked home, I felt lighter. Tomorrow was a new day, a new chapter, and for the first time in a long time, I was excited to see what it would bring. My 21st birthday might have been a roller coaster, but it ended with me knowing exactly who I was and what I wanted. And that, I realized, was the best gift of all. The next morning, I woke to a killer hangover and a flurry of notifications. Happy birthday messages, party photos, and a text from Rowan. Meet me at the vinyl store where we first met, 2 p.m. My heart raced as I typed back, wouldn't miss it. I spent the morning nursing my headache and replaying yesterday's events. By the time I reached the store, my palms were sweaty. The bell jingled as I entered. Rowan was there, flipping through records. He looked up, his face breaking into a smile that made my knees weak. "Hey, birthday boy," he said softly. "Hey yourself," I replied, moving closer. We stood there, surrounded by music, just drinking each other in. Then Rowan pulled out a record. "Remember this?" he asked. It was the album we'd bonded over when we first met. I laughed. How could I forget? "I got it for you," he said, suddenly shy. "Happy belated birthday." I took the record, our fingers brushing. Rowan, Wait, he interrupted. "Before you say anything, I need you to know. Yesterday wasn't just a drunk thing for me. I meant what I said. What I did." I set the record down and took his hands in mine. "It wasn't just a drunk thing for me either. Rowan, you make me feel alive in a way I never have before. I want to see where this goes. If you want that too." His answer was a kiss that made my toes curl. When we finally broke apart, I remembered something. "Oh shit, Ethan." "Already talked to him," Rowan said. "He called me this morning. Gave us his blessing, believe it or not." I shook my head, amazed. "That's Ethan for you. Always putting others first." "He's a good friend," Rowan agreed. "We're lucky to have him." Yeah, I nodded. "We are." As we left the store, hand in hand, I couldn't help but marvel at how much had changed in just 24 hours. I'd started my 21st birthday confused, trapped in a toxic relationship, questioning everything. Now I was starting a new chapter. With Rowan by my side, Ethan having my back, and for the first time, a clear understanding of who I was and what I wanted. So Rowan squeezed my hand. "Where to now?" I grinned. "Anywhere. As long as it's with you." The future was uncertain, sure, but for once I was excited to face it. My 21st year was off to one hell of a start, and I couldn't wait to see what came next.